Start with tofu meatballs.
Good. Let's read that recipe for our tofu meatballs. For them, you will need 2 cups whole grain breadcrumbs, 1/2 cup quick oats, 1/2 cup onion that's finely chopped, 3/4 cup walnuts or pecans, finely chopped or blended, 1 1/2 cup tofu, firm or extra firm, that's drained. You also need 2 tablespoons Bragg's liquid aminos, 1 teaspoon basil, 1/2 teaspoon salt, and 1/2 teaspoon sage. All right, show us how to make this here.
Okay, well, what we're starting out with first in the directions are to blend up breadcrumbs, and so we're actually using fresh bread, not the dried bread from the like the cube bread. So we use fresh bread, and you can either do it in the blender or in the food processor. Actually, the food processor you can do a little bit more; it's a little easier. But just like break up 1 piece of bread into 4 or 5 pieces and put it in the blender and blend it up. And so then we have our breadcrumbs.
You have something like this. That's a nice consistency.
Yeah, nice and fine. And so then. And I want you to just go ahead and add the ingredients for us, but we're going to start out with tofu. We have some mashed tofu here.
And you said you could use firm or extra firm.
Firm or extra firm. Okay. You can use water packed. You can use the Mori New in the boxes.
Well,
either kind
easy.
Is fine.
I like that. That's good.
And so you're just going to basically add everything except for the breadcrumbs.
Okay.
And
what
so
do we start with here?
You can start with your oats.
The oats.
That's a 1/2 cup of the oats and your onions. Now the next one is your nuts, and you can either chop them finely or else you can blend them up in the blender to a meal, or you can buy a meal, and so this is pecan meal.
So if you buy it, then that saves work. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm always into saving work. Okay.
And here, and I'll stir this for you. So then you've got some basil there. You can go ahead and add the basil and the salt and the sage.
Now, can you use fresh basil?
You can, but I would use dried because you're going to hold on to more of the flavor. And go ahead and you'll put the sage in there, and you can use the Bragg's liquid aminos, or you can use soy sauce.
Okay.
Yep. And that, after you get those ingredients mixed up, then you just add your 2 cups of breadcrumbs.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, and it's nice because you can actually, if you have quite a bit of bread, you can make your breadcrumbs and freeze them. That way you can just pull them out.
That.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can, you can make this up ahead of time, and after you've baked it, you can freeze it.
Right. Now, can I ask you, JoAnn, is it healthier for you to make the breadcrumbs yourself versus buying them in the store?
Well, I prefer to make my own. One reason is because you really want to use whole wheat bread. If you use bread that the first ingredient on the label is white flour, then you're going to have soggier meatballs. And so you really want to buy, if you're going to buy bread, have whole wheat be the first ingredient. Or if you're going to make bread, then you want it to be mostly whole wheat bread.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Okay.
And so it just has more nutrition in it than
We're talking about
croutons.
Foods that you can freely eat. So we want to freely eat the whole grain bread, right?
There we go. And then we're going to just bake them on a cookie sheet.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And I like to, you can use your hands, and you can make a little ball about, 1.5 tablespoons worth. Or you can put it right into a cookie scoop.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's cute. They come out all perfect.
Yeah, they do. They come out nice and even looking.
Now, do you have to spray this, or it just automatically comes out?
This seems to just come right out.
Okay, good.
It's really better to use your fingers and pack it in there, and then it stays together nice and firm.
Yes.
And these are easy because you can serve them as meatballs. You can serve them with gravy.
Ooh,
you could serve them with a spaghetti sauce over. With spaghetti and meatballs.
Yes.
Or you can crumble these up after they're baked and make a really nice sandwich spread.
Ooh, that sounds good too. I like that too.
Yeah, I like to, for about 2 cups of crumbled up meatballs, you add maybe about 2/3 of a cup of like spaghetti sauce or the tofu sour cream with cheese sauce, pickle relish, chopped olives and onions.
Sounds good.
Makes a really good sauce.
Okay.
But the meatballs you're going to bake at 350.
I was just going to ask you that. Okay.
For 35 minutes.
35 minutes.
Yeah.
Good. Good. Now we're going to make something to put on top of these meatballs.
Yes, we are. We have the tofu meatballs with the sweet and sour sauce.
Yummy. It looks good in presentation too. I like all the little parsley and stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's easy to heat up like that in the oven or in the microwave if you want to.
Absolutely. And